Mm. Mm-mm-mm. This was a tough loss for the Broncos. A very, very tough loss. This was a tough week for me, man. We couldn't back up our trash talk and made ourselves look like idiots. And we deserve all the hate. All the hate. We deserve it. This week, we deserve it. Oh, man. But that's besides the point. There were some pretty decent games this week. I think the primetime games were very lackluster. I wasn't a big fan of the, prime times. The Thursday night was really lame. Sunday night, Monday night was really lame. The Sunday morning, though, that was a really good game. But we're gonna get into all of that pretty soon. But yeah, hopefully everyone had a pretty good week watching some games this week. I had a lot of fun, outside of the Broncos game. Besides I don't know, as bad as the primetime games were, it was still entertaining. But yeah. This is bad. Let's get into it. So we had week 5. We're, like I said, a little bit over 30%, probably 35% of the way done with the season. It's going by. It's going by really fast. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan at all. But let's get into the first game. We got the Commanders and the Bears. This game was very, I would say, I had the Commanders winning. I got this game wrong. I'm pretty sure a lot of people had the Commanders winning this game. But, Justin Fields again, against a really bad defense. Commanders said they have a really good defense. They have like a top 5 defense technically. I'm like, they don't show it. I don't see it. Justin Fields had a perfect game. 15, 282, 4 touchdowns. 3 out of his 15 completions were touchdowns to DJ Moore. DJ Moore had just a ball-out game. This was very one-sided. The defense for the Bears were playing really good against the Commanders. Commanders just couldn't get anything going, and it was just a blowout. It was a clear blowout. The offense for the Bears was clicking, getting multiple yards per play, and just completely dominating start to finish. And I was very surprised with the play from the offense. The Bears low key can put up points like very, very quickly. When they're on, they're on. It's just a matter of consistency and I would say play calling. But big win for the Bears, first win of the season. Next, we're gonna go to Sunday morning. We had the Jags and the Bills. I'm telling you, man, the Jaguars don't lose in London. They don't lose unless it's the Broncos. They don't lose. Josh Allen, just a very lackluster game. Not crazy highlights. Defense for the Bills was non-existent. I don't know what the Bills were doing on defense, but just no pressure really. No activity in the secondary. Just a very lackluster defensive play by the Bills this game. The Bills also had no run game. This was just a bad game for the Bills. Stephon Diggs, is he even good? Like, let's be real. Is Stephon Diggs a good teammate? Like, I feel like he's getting into more of a toxic role. You hear about him every week. Oh, he's crying about this, mad about this, yelling at this, getting penalties or something. I feel like he's just becoming toxic. Still really good receiver, but very toxic. I don't know. But yeah. As you can see here, the Jaguars dominated this game. This game should have been a blowout. The Bills kind of were hanging in there, and the Jaguars just couldn't pull away. But this should have been an easy blowout. Easy blowout win for the Jaguars, but as you can see here, it was very close. But, yeah, in my opinion, I think the Bills are just very undisciplined of a football team. Next, we have the 12 o'clock games. We have the Giants and the Dolphins. I'm pretty sure not a single soul had the Giants winning this game. Daniel Jones got hurt. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really watch a lot of this game. There wasn't really much to do. I know the Dolphins were literally playing a really bad game. They were playing a really bad game. It looked like they were just trying stuff. But because they were so much better than the Giants, that they just did it and were able to do it. Sorry if you hear this stupid dog out here. Darren Waller probably had his best game in I don't know how long. Tyreek Hill, obviously, I think he's going to... Is he not the best receiver in the league right now? He has to be, right? Balling out. 22 yards a catch. You can't stop him. He's unguardable. This was a fairly easy win. Obviously, with Daniel Jones going down, Tyrod Taylor steps in, doesn't obviously do anything. But, look how much possession time the Giants had. And they, lost. They were going to lose anyway, but just look at the possession time for the Dolphins. And it's this easy for them to put up points. It's pretty insane. But very easy win, for the Dolphins there. Next, we have the Saints and the Patriots. Patriots dropped the goose egg on Bill Belichick. And, yeah. This is probably Bill Belichick's probably one of his top worst games in his entire career. This game, there's not really much to say. The Patriots couldn't do anything on offense. They put up 10 points a game. They can't score. The defense sucks. There's lack of talent in every single position on the team. Quarterback, running back, offensive line, defensive line, secondary, receivers, tight ends, linebackers, defensive edge, D-line, if I didn't say that. I feel like their only decent person on their team is, the personal trainers. I don't know. There's no one good on the Patriots. I never would have thought that the Patriots, for as dominant as they were from, the mid-2000s all the way up until, 2017, 18, they were on this stretch of being the most unstoppable football franchise, the evil empire, and then now they're just getting blown out by Derek Carr. It's insane. Yeah, not really much to say here. The stats. This is a blowout. There's nothing to really go off of there. Next, we have the Ravens and the Steelers. Oh, by the way, I did get the Bills-Jags game wrong. I did get the Giants-Dolphins game right. I did get the Saints-Patriots game right. The Ravens and the Steelers, I got this game wrong. I did have the Ravens winning this game, and the Ravens very much easily should have won this game. There was 10 drops by Lamar's receivers. I'm not going to really put the blame on Lamar on this game. His receivers were not in any way helping him. The running backs as well. The Ravens haven't had a good running back since probably Ray Rice. That's how long it's been since they had a good running back. Mark Ingram was pretty good that 1 year, but they need running backs, man. They need to give Lamar some help. Lamar Jackson obviously is not having a great season right now, but at the same time, he also doesn't have a lot of talent around him. The amount of drops, 10 drops, you can't win a game with 10 drops from your receivers. I feel like the Ravens just kind of fumbled this game. This is a very easy win for the Ravens, and they just completely choked. George Pickens was making plays all game, though. Very clutch. Very, very clutch. As you can see here by the stats, it's pretty even all the way around. It's just a matter of I'm not sure how the Ravens couldn't pull this game off. It was a very easy win, and they just let it slip away. Next, we have the Panthers and the Lions. I got this game correct as well. I'm pretty sure almost everyone would have guessed the Lions were going to beat the Panthers in this game. Panthers got completely blown out. This was a very one-sided game. I mean, a perfect game by Jared Goff, a perfect game by David Montgomery in the running game. Defense played amazing. Bryce Young had some really bad picks. I think if he didn't throw those picks, this game might have been closer. But, yeah, I mean, as you can see here, fairly one-sided. I mean, the execution for the Lions was on point this game. And I don't know, they just did really good. It's not crazy difficult to pick Bryce Young, especially with this current roster from the Panthers. But I'll tell you what, man, this Panthers team, they are in a serious rebuild mode. They are in need of many, many positions. Bryce Young is not the one to be blamed here. It's not his fault. It's some of his fault, but I mean, this team is missing some talent. Next, we have the Texans and the Falcons. I did get this game wrong. I did have the Texans winning. They somehow let Desmond Ridder... Actually, no, the Texans defense, I'm blaming you. The Texans defense completely just let the Falcons come out here and clutch up at the end. This was a very easy game, I feel like. C.J. Stroud is the best quarterback in the league out of the rookies. And they robbed him of his... of this win right here. You can see Desmond Ridder, he's still not doing anything crazy special. Bijan Robinson kind of got stopped this game. He had a very crucial fumble. But I don't know, man. The Texans, at the same time, they're in a rebuild, but they're on the right track. This is the first time where I can say that the Texans are on the right track in rebuilding. They've been in rebuild mode probably since they became a franchise. But this is the first time where they're they're on the right path in rebuilding. They just need to, I say give them 2 years, they'll be in a playoff contention. They'll be a scary team. Next we have the Titans and the Colts. I did get this game wrong as well. Somehow, there's a lot of factors that kind of came into this game. Ryan Tannehill obviously is going to play horrible. When have you seen a Titans highlight? Have you seen a Titans highlight this entire season? I haven't seen one. Name one highlight, because I can't. I've seen one DeAndre Hopkins catch, and that's it. Gardner Minshew came in because of what's his name? What's the quarterback's name for the Colts? I'm drawing a blank here. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He got hurt this game. It's probably going to be down here. Where's it at? Oh my gosh, really? The quarterback. I mean, he's on IR. He got hurt this game. This dog needs to shut up, dude. For real. The running game, Zach Moss went crazy. This is the first game where Jonathan Taylor was actually going to come in and play. And after his big contract extension. And Zach Moss was like, hey, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? Y'all should not have signed Jonathan Taylor. I don't know why they gave Jonathan Taylor the money. I would not have signed him, to be honest. He had one good season his entire career, and he's wanting all this. Come on now. I wouldn't have given him that contract, in my opinion. Especially with running backs. Running backs, it's almost hard to give a contract to any running back, even if they are elite, because it's their primes are so short. But, yeah. I blame... this was a win that, what do you call it? I feel like the Titans should have won this game. They were on a little hot streak. Colts were struggling, and then the Colts come in and steal this game. Lose to Gardner Minshew and the backups. Pretty insane. But big win for the Colts. Big division win. Next, we're going to go to the 3 o'clock games, the Bengals and the Cardinals. I actually picked the Cardinals. I was waiting for the Bengals to show me something because until they were going to show me something, I'm not going to pick them. And, of course, they, beat the Cardinals. Joe Burrow had an okay game. 3 touchdowns, a pick. Joshua Dobbs kind of struggled this game. Joe Mixon obviously isn't going to do anything. He's not good anymore. The Cardinals obviously, are decimated in every position. So the fact that they even got this game semi-close is kind of impressive to me. But as you can see here, this was a fairly one-sided game. Double the possession time, double the first downs. This was a very easy win, surprisingly, for the Bengals. Finally, Jamar Chase is getting the ball. 3 touchdowns, 200 yards. He had an amazing game. Probably killed everyone in their fantasy leagues. Next, we have the Eagles and the Rams. I did get this game correct. There's no way that the Eagles are going to lose to the Rams. Jalen Hurts didn't have a crazy big game. He's going to do, his quarterback sneak. Matthew Stafford had a pretty decent game. But the run game for the Rams has not been a thing for years. And that continues this year. Dallas Goedert finally had a good game. This is the Dallas Goedert that the Eagles need. I'm tired of, having to call him out on not being good, and he's finally doing good. Where's Devontae Smith, though? You know what I mean? I need to see him put up some numbers, and I feel like he's not doing a lot. But as you can see here, almost double the first downs, way more possession time, and this game was a very easy win for the Eagles. I could not see the Eagles losing to the Rams. It just doesn't make sense. Next, we have the Chiefs and the Vikings. This game was a lot closer than it probably should have been. The Vikings actually were not even playing that great, and Justin Jefferson aggravated something in his hamstring, so he's going to be on IR. This game was a lot closer than it probably should have been. Travis Kelce got hurt. He's still going to play tomorrow, unfortunately. But this was not a typical Chiefs win. All of the Chiefs wins have not been that impressive. They've been very subpar wins. A lot of lucky wins, in my opinion. They're very beatable. This is the most beatable the Chiefs have looked since Mahomes got the starting job. So I feel like this is a very vulnerable team, and I hope the Broncos somehow pull off an upset. And we're going to go over the Broncos game last because I really don't want to talk about that. Next, we have the Sunday night, though, with the Cowboys and the 49ers. This was a game where I'm kind of glad it happened because the Cowboys they didn't have a meaningful win this entire season. They didn't have one meaningful win. They beat the Jets, they beat the Giants, and they beat... Who else did they beat? They beat someone else. And then they lost to the Cardinals. What? So this was a humbling game that I'm glad kind of happened because the Cowboys fans needed to realize hey, this team isn't that good. They just have... Being in the NFC East is a very, very easy thing to do. Maybe not right now because the Eagles are actually really good, but the Giants aren't good right now. The Commanders aren't good right now. The Cowboys aren't good right now. The NFC is easier now. The NFC is easy right now. How they were dominant for almost 20 years back in the day. This is gonna be like that with the AFC. The AFC is way more dominant than the NFC, hands down. But as you can see, Dak Prescott. I don't know how he's still on the team, man. Dak Prescott sucks. He's been mid. the Cowboys are stuck with him. I mean, you gave him that big contract, you're stuck with him. Dak Prescott is not it. He needs to leave. I don't know who would sign him. But wherever else he's going to go, he's not going to be a starter. He's going to be the backup, I'll tell you that. Brock Purdy played ball-out game. I mean, 1 every 4 throws was a touchdown. Is the 49ers offense a lot easier than almost every offense in the league? Yes. I'm pretty sure most quarterbacks can play just as good, maybe a little bit worse than Brock Purdy. But the Shanahan offense is just a very simple, straightforward, easy offense for the quarterback. And it puts up points. The running game, both sides was very lackluster. I need to see more. Chris McCaffrey should have balled out this game. He really should have. George Kittle, though, he did. All three of his catches were a touchdown. Very, very easy win. I know a lot of people are saying like this game technically was a lot closer than it looked. This game was not close at all. The Cowboys had no chance against this team. Next we have Sunday night, Monday night, and we had probably, I think, the worst game of the week, in my opinion, besides the Saints and the Patriots. This game was boring, man. 4 interceptions, 1 touchdown. I mean, this game was like, who's going to lose the game? It's not like who's going to win the game. It's like who's going to go out of their way to lose the game. And it was Jordan Love. Jordan Love had one of the worst quarterback games, I think, of the last 2 seasons that I've seen. 16 for 30, 182, 32 passer rating with 3 picks. Horrible. A.J. Dillon, trash. The other running back, Jones, garbage. Josh Jacobs, for whatever reason this season, trash. He still had a touchdown, though. The defense for the Raiders was balling out against this Packers offense. Insane. I got this game wrong, but as you can see here, the stats, this was just a defensive game. I mean, the defense for the Packers was playing really good. Defense for the Raiders was playing even better. Jordan Love really, hands down, lost this game for them. He had 2 extremely bad picks. I mean, Jordan Love sucks. I mean, the Packers completely botched that draft and drafted a liability. Here is the Jets and the Broncos game. Sean Payton, man, his words came back to bite him. You know, we're already a very unlucky team / franchise, and you're gonna try to trash talk, really? He trash talked Nathaniel Hackett earlier in the offseason. And Nathaniel Hackett, he deserved it. I mean, he was really, really bad. It was his first head coaching job. He wasn't ready for it. He may be ready for it in the future, but he was way too early. He was not ready for it. It was a big experiment, and it just didn't work. Locker room-wise, friend-wise, he was a great guy. He's a great guy. But as a coach, he's horrible. And you should know by now in the NFL there's 3 type of coaches. There's the locker room guy. There's the guy that no one really likes, but he's a good coach. And then there's the rare where they're both. Nathaniel Hackett was not a great coach. He just wasn't. He wasn't a good coach. Was he a great guy? Yes. And he was an amazing guy. And then Sean Payton goes out of his way to talk about him. Like, bro, we know he did a bad job coaching, but you don't say it. You know what I mean? You don't say it. You don't bring it up. Especially, because you can... I don't know. It just makes Sean Payton and the Broncos look really bad when he said that. You know, I agreed with it, though. I 100% agree with it. It was one of the worst coaching jobs of all time. I'm not disagreeing there. I think it didn't even come off as bad as it looked. You know what I mean? Either way, it happened. Everyone had this game marked for their calendars. Luckily, Aaron Rodgers didn't play. If he would have played, we would have got blown out. Russell Wilson had an okay game. Good passer rating. He did fumble the ball. But I will tell you, the defense, this game was lost on stupidity for the Broncos. We had a dropped punt that we didn't get back. We had a game-ending fumble return for a touchdown. We had a safety given up, and then they score a touchdown. They score a field goal when we gave them the ball back. So that's literally 12 points that we just gave the Jets. We just gave them 12 points. We lost technically by 10, but we were only down 4. You take 10 away from them. Well, actually, hold on. You take that. We should have been up 1 point with the ball at the end, and all we needed to do was run out the clock. That's what we should have been doing. We made it to the red zone a couple times and just came away with field goals, and it's just, I don't know. Our third quarter is what lost us this game because the defense let up 10 points. Offense got -1 yards. 1 yard. And it's like, you're not doing a single thing on offense, and the defense gets scored on. So it's like, it just doesn't work out. This game was a very, very, very easy win for the Broncos, and we managed to just, each Bronco loss is not a normal loss. We just don't lose. We lose in a completely brand new way every time we lose. Every time we lose, I'm like, wow, we've never lost like that before. And it's the same thing every loss. It's like, it surprises me. We lose by 7. We lose by 50 points. We lose in this way. We lose a 21-point comeback to the Commanders. It's like, we lose in ways that surprise me, and I should be used to it. This was such a bad loss, a very bad loss, an easy win, and we just let it slip away. This team should very easily be 3-1. 4-1. Easily should be 4-1. Either way, guys. Oh, by the way, the Browns, Chargers, Bucks, and Seahawks, they all had a bye. But let's go on to picks of the week. We have Thursday night, the Broncos and the Chiefs. I'm not picking the Broncos here. I'm just not. Am I hoping for an upset? You bet. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, though. I'll tell you that. Sunday morning, we have the Ravens and the Titans. I don't really know who to pick here because the Ravens, I don't know. Are they going to bounce back? Are the Titans going to bounce back? Both coming off of losses. Both coming off of division losses. I don't know, man. This game is going to be... My gut is telling me to pick the Titans. And I think I'm going to have to go with the Titans here. Am I going to be surprised if the Ravens win? No, not at all. Commanders and the Falcons. This is also a tough one. Falcons coming off of a win off of the Colts. The Commanders coming off of a big loss with the Bears. I'm picking the Falcons here. It's another game where I would not be surprised if the Commanders easily blow out the Falcons. 49ers and the Browns, come on now. 49ers. Saints and the Texans, this is going to be a good game. The Titans are actually the Saints are actually going to play a team with, a defense and a team that can put up points. I'm picking the Saints here, but am I going to go for the Texans? I am. Do I hope the Texans win? I do. But I think the Saints are going to pull it off just barely. Panthers and the Dolphins. I feel bad for the Panthers, man. I really do. Seahawks and the Bengals. I think I'm going to go with the Bengals on this one. I think they should easily beat the Seahawks. Seahawks are coming off of a bye, though. So they do get some rest. It's going to be a good game, actually. It's going to be a good game, I think. But I'm picking the Bengals there. Colts and the Jaguars. I think I'm going to pick the Colts. I'm picking the Jaguars just because Gardner Minshew's starting. And I don't believe that he's better than Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars beat the Bills, man. Think about it. Next, we have the Vikings and the Bears. Low-key might be a sleeper game. Justin Jefferson is not going to be playing. Ooh. This is a close game. This is a very close game. Who do I want to pick here? I feel like I'd be stupid to pick the Bears, but I'm going to pick them anyway. Obviously, no one's going to be surprised if the Vikings win. Patriots and the Raiders. I'm picking the Raiders. The Patriots, come on now. 0 points. The Patriots are going to... They're low-key the worst team in the league. Lions and the Bucks. Picking the Lions there. I believe the Bucks had a bye last week. Cardinals and the Rams. Who do I want to pick there? That's going to be a... Wow, that's going to be a boring game. Cardinals and the Rams. James Conner is on IR or not playing. I think I might have to go with the Rams. Cooper Kupp's back. He did a really good job on his last game. I'm picking the Rams here. Eagles and the Jets. Picking the Eagles. Is this game going to be good? Probably not. I feel like the Eagles are going to do really good. The Jets obviously are not garbage, but I feel like the Eagles are going to be able to beat them. Sunday night, we have the Giants and the Bills. Picking the Bills easily on that one. Don't even know if Daniel Jones is going to play that game. Monday night, we have the Cowboys and the Chargers. I think I'm going to pick the Chargers on this game. Would I be surprised if the Cowboys win? No. But I'm picking the Chargers there. There's only 2 teams on bye this week, and it's the Packers and the Steelers. But, yeah. Pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. This was a very short video this week. Not a lot to go off of. I know there was a lot of, it just wasn't a very interesting week, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. My pick percentage went down. I did get 7 right, 7 wrong. So it went down to 57%. It was previously 59% correct. But I need to get that up, man. Hopefully this next week will, put me back on the, the higher ups. But, yeah, it is what it is. Either way, guys, that's all I got for today. Like I said, this was a very lackluster week, in my opinion. A lot of good games, a lot of boring games, very boring prime time. But, yeah, very quick video. Nothing crazy this week. But next week, this coming up week of games is going to be... I'm excited for these. These are going to be some pretty decent games. Hopefully the Broncos, upset the Chiefs. That would be insane. We haven't beat them in, years and almost a decade, it feels like. So hopefully they come up with a dub there. But either way, hope your team wins this Sunday or this week whenever they play. Obviously, unless you're a Chiefs fan. But, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Be back next Wednesday. Let me know how y'all's picks are going as well, because, like I said, mine aren't doing too hot. 59%, 57%, not up there. I want to be at least 75, and I need to definitely work on that. But either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will see you on next Wednesday. Deuces.